do the overview of accounting, or?
Well, thus far, so I'm brand new here, and we've done billing off of the estimates versus billings report, and I am not sure how to read that report to see which clients need to be billed.
Okay, so can I show you a couple other areas that might make it easier for you as far as billing?
Absolutely.
Seeing what you need to bill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One is the status code. So if, let's say, somebody changes your financial status code to ready to bill, it can automatically email you by having a status code called ready to bill. In our agency, since we had retainer billing, we had all these different types of billing, either the person could tell me in the project brief what type of billing I'm doing so that when they toggled it to ready to bill, I could just review what type of billing we were going to do and then make it happen.
Okay.
You can also, do you guys bill by estimate always?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. Honestly, Cindy, I don't really know the answer to that. We had our last billing person gave me 2 weeks notice and then was sick the whole 2 weeks.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
And so Kyle got no training. So she's given us a couple of things. She gave us the estimate versus billing and said, bill from this. And then, and that's all we know.
I'm going to show you all your options because, like you just answered, it's not necessarily always from the estimate. So I'm going to show you all your billing options and the reports that you can look at to make sure you're catching everything.
Okay, also, nobody updates codes, status codes here.
Okay, so let me just do this. Status codes, I'm going to put plus email. I'm just writing things that I want to touch on, so bear with me for 1 second. To job, bills, reports, client, retainer, and the recur, and then AR, and WIP. Okay, got my hit list.
Okay.
Right. So from the job ticket, if you guys are changing status codes, and if you want to change a whole bunch of, like, get rid of some, close a bunch of them, you go to the daily job status. And from here, you can update a whole bunch of ones. And just know, I'm on a Mac and you guys are on a PC, but you're able to highlight several of them. I think on a PC it might be Control, and then you can right-click. So I'm just going to show you this really quick. If you right-click, you have different options here. So let's say you selected 15 of them. Now, they don't even have to be in an order. You could select another, set down here. You can change the statuses of those selected to closed or whatever it is you want them to be. So if you do start using status codes, it does make things a lot more automated, and it shows big bucket. Just where does it stand? Okay, can I touch it? Oh, shoot, it's at the vendor's. I can't do anything with it until it comes back. We're done. Under the setup menu to the job status codes, you can have as many status codes as you want to, or as few, so you can clean those up. But I had, again, that billing one ready for billing. So in some agencies, they might have the different status codes for the different types of billing, so that it'll say 800 is estimate bill, 805 is progress bill, however you want to do it. But the nice thing about this is if you double click on any of these status codes, you can send out an email. So just by such, and it doesn't matter if it's for billing or if, hey, I'm an AE, I filled out the project brief or did my creative brief, and then my project brief, I'm ready to rock and roll. All I have to do is change it to status, say 200, and it'll automatically email traffic, production, and accounting to get started doing their jobs. They go to the project brief. There's all their information. Here's how we're going to invoice it. Here's how we're estimating. There's about what we need, etc. So any of these status codes has that ability to email out just by somebody toggling it on the job ticket. So there's a lot of automation there. So I highly recommend using that where you can.
Okay.
Now, in the program, in the templates, you can set up the titles for the creative briefs and the project briefs. And one of the titles in the project brief would be invoicing. We're going to do 50%, we're going to do 100%, we're recurring billing, we're doing retainer billing. So again, by just toggling it to something, any department can go to that project brief and find out what their part of it is and what they need to do. Now, from the job ticket itself, you have a WIP window, which is all the costs on the job ticket.
Right.
From here, if I want to automatically bill any unbilled, so if whatever's here is unbilled, I can actually bill now from here. So this is gross costs that have not been billed.
Cool.
This one is what I have in my estimate I want to bill it, and you have percentages. Okay? So both those windows, one's from estimate and one's from the actual costs.
Which one was the second window? I'm sorry, I was looking down.
If you go into WIP,
yeah.
and it's the bill now.
Okay.
And if you bill now, it does create an invoice. From here, if you bill, it creates an estimate invoice.
Oh, bill.
You can always change them, though. So even if you're creating it from the job ticket, you can always go to that invoice and do whatever changes you want to, or even delete it.
Okay.
The tab that you guys are going to stay on top of for job accountability-wise, for billing, costs, etc., is this AE job snapshot tab, because this is going to give you this nice, where are we on this job ticket? The unbilled is probably the most common question that people have on this program.
Okay.
The unbilled is the gross costs that have not been billed yet. So let's say you have negative $1,500 in here, and you've closed the job. Woohoo! You made extra gross margin. That's great. If you can do that on every job,
That's right.
you guys are going to be floating in money. But usually, what it means is people haven't added their time yet. People haven't added the purchase orders yet, or the order or the cost, and then it starts ticking away at that unbilled.
Right.
If you have unbilled, though, in the black on this window, and you're closing the job, that means you lost your gross margin. So what I normally do is I keep the job open, and I'll job cost transfer those costs to other jobs to where I finally can bill it, and then I'll close it.
Okay.
This window, let me just make one more note of what I wanted to show you.
Why is it this job has been done and closed? There's no money, there's no unbilled or estimate or purchases or anything on it. This is a weird job ticket.
Do you know of any of them?
Can you look at
and you guys can go ahead and type it if you want to, because you'll probably know your letters easier than I would.
Look at I want to look at something we actually need to bill. You need to bill Becker? Mm-hmm. Okay, bill Becker Furniture, but I don't know if there's an estimate in there is the problem.
It doesn't matter.
We just don't use the system very well. I think we need training for the system.
Yeah, well.
So, Cindy, do we have any kind of quote from you on getting more training?
Yes, I can send that to you.
All right, that's what we need.
I had Becker marked.
It's BECKR.
Where's no number?
1014.
Okay.
There might be 1013 too. I don't know if there's money left on 1013. I don't know if there's an estimate in there. I didn't build this job ticket. There's not.
Okay. I am
Okay.
back
Try
off
1013.
Yeah, I don't think we do estimates in here.
It doesn't matter. Any costs or estimates or anything would be seen in this window here.
Did you
hours,
put
etc.
on this 2017-18? Did you put did you do the purchase against that one yet? You had a purchase there, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Says there's 1097 unbilled.
That's 1014.
Yeah.
But it doesn't show up on this. It shows up on that, but not on this.
There's two that show up. Yeah, so we have an estimate versus billing that shows an amount unbilled, but it's not in here.
Does that mean we've just been entering things incorrectly?
I don't know. I'd have to see it, because if there's posted costs against the job ticket, you should be seeing it here.
All right, go to estimate versus billing.
Okay, so let me do this first, because it kind of builds on itself, and then I'm going to get to the report. So bear with me for 1 second.
Okay.
So from the job ticket, this is the tab that you guys are going to want to be on. WIP shows all your costs. You can bill from there. You can bill from the bill job here. If you go to print reports and job accountability, this is specific to this job, and I'm going to show you these, or talk to you about this one. I wish we had something in here, though.
Yeah, I think we should.
I don't even know if it'll print.
I feel like we're looking at something that.
One. I just want to make sure you're printing to. If you guys change it to print to screen, you're going to save a lot of paper, too.
We do.
Yeah, we usually have it on there.
So, oh, that's weird. It's not showing up on the job ticket, though, but we're seeing it here. Okay, that's bizarre. Oh, I bet you I know why.
You know, it won't let me unput post anything that Kristen has posted.
Because you're not
so
there?
small for me. Forgive
And
me.
That's all right. And
let's see.
her account is expired, so I can't edit hers.
Ask her about that.
So it is showing that.
Or we can. That doesn't have to happen in training. We can just call them.
Okay.
Do you see one that says? And again, it's so small. Forgive me. I'm trying to read the tiny type for me.
Yep. Hey, that's.
Oh.
This is where it would do it.
And is that the job we were on? Or was it a different one?
I think it was 1014.
Okay, we might have to quit and have you log back in. Okay, can you log back in one more time?
Yep. Well, it is not.
Maybe
Says K.
Check your cap lock too.
Okay.
Okay. So let me nab it.
I could have misspelled spoke.
Can you type that job in again, please? There we go.
Hey.
So in your user access, you can subdue showing this information on any user you want to.
I don't know what that means.
You didn't have access to see that.
I
She
didn't
just
have
gave
access.
it to you.
Well, thank you. Because I should have access.
If somebody should see that and they're not, it's that user setting that I just went into in users.
Okay.
And then I went in to find that user, and then you go to the job or production one, and then it's hide estimate information on the job ticket.
Okay.
Okay? Now, in print reports, let me go back to job accountability. Okay, so I'm going to show you these two, and then I want to show you these. Are you still, I wonder if it's, okay, hold on.
Well, it went back.
Oops. I just want to make sure we're not printing the printer again.
Yeah,
Oh,
which it is.
Okay, we'll try this.
Huh.
So that's a user setting too. Okay. So this is what accounting people usually look at,
Okay.
possibly production, and the reason why it wouldn't be an AE-oriented thing is because it's gross estimate, net budget, net POs, net cost, and nobody should be seeing that. That's not, manager or accounting, because then you could always figure out, well, this has an hour on it, and that person obviously makes $35 an hour because there's a net cost for it.
Right.
Okay? But this is a nice report, this job specifically, what's going on with that job ticket, projected gross margin, etc.
Mm-hmm.
The one that an AE would look at, let me get rid of these first. The one that the AEs will look at is this one, same report, it's just gross all the way across. So they're not going to be able to know what the gross margin is and go, oh, it costs a little bit more than I thought. I'll just, it's still good. We still made money. No, it's like you need to make that gross margin because that's how it pays your rent and salaries, etc.
Okay.
So this is the view for AEs and everybody outside accounting. That's the accounting one. This one, all it does is it breaks apart the cost column into the three different types of costs, expenses, labor, etc.
Okay.
This one shows every detail of what went into that job. So sometimes when I've looked at the summary, or let's say I'm an AE and looking at the progress, I go, that doesn't look right. That's too many POs, on this job ticket. You can look at these and it shows every single detail on that job ticket.
Oh.
To get that same report, though, for a bunch of jobs, you can go to summaries, job summary. That's going to give you the same one net for whatever query you put in here. If you don't have, let's say an AE, they don't have net access, this will automatically be selected and it'll print all the progress reports for that client. Same with these. You can do it by project. You can have it sorted by type, by client. So it's just different ways kind of to sort that information. These other ones, though, are more job.
I think you're talking over our heads, Cindy. I mean,
Okay,
are you understanding all this?
I'm understanding some of it.
We don't use any of this stuff, and so you're talking about a bunch of stuff we don't use. We don't know what it is.
That's why I'm telling you about it. So on this one, this gives you the job totals, whereas the other reports give you the task totals, and then the cost, billings, and purchase orders give you every single detail. So what I'm showing you in this reporting is that you can see it very macro, and you can see it very micro. So this is specific to that job.
Mm-hmm.
This allows you to see a whole bunch of jobs by whatever query and date range you put in.
Right.
The job analysis reports are basically all from estimating perspective. Small jobs, large jobs, over budget, estimate versus billings. So when you do this one, though, just do a small range.
We always
The one that you said you were referring to.
Yeah, that's the one.
It doesn't give you. It gives you the unbilled cost.
Right.
But it's going from the estimate perspective, right?
Right.
Whereas the client one,
the job summary.
it's still the grand total of the jobs, but you're also seeing open orders, which was really important to me because if I go to bill it, I see if it's estimated, I see my costs and billed and unbilled, but I'm also going to see any open orders that haven't even been pulled yet to purchase orders, so at least I can bill those if I can. So this report, I think, gives you just one more option to make sure you're billing everything you can when you can, whereas the estimate versus billing, again, is just coming from that estimating perspective.
What would be an example of an open order?
I entered a purchase order against a job ticket. The accounts payable invoice has not come in yet, so it's sitting there in a order balance, but it's not a cost yet, so it hasn't been pulled to a cost column yet.
Okay.
It's not a cost yet, but it's expected to come in, and let's say the client said, stop everything, we can't do this right now. Okay. We ran out of budget. That's great, but I need to see if I can stop that order with that vendor because there's a possibility I can't.
Right.
Okay, so open orders is jobs, invoices that we would bill against a job.
What we've done for vendors.
Right. So when people are actually, which is the best way, and I'll tell you why.
So we need to use that job
really
summary, right?
Both AEs and accounting. So if I'm going to buy something on a credit card, if I'm going to buy something, somebody with whatever, I'm going to order something from a vendor, and I enter a purchase order.
Right.
It's basically a holding plate. That cost is going to come in unless I can cancel it in time to where they didn't do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this order then allows the AEs to see on their job tickets, I have these costs coming on my job. Our accounting department just hasn't gotten the invoice for it yet.
Right.
So then what happens is the invoice comes in from that vendor.
Mm-hmm.
I go to add it into the system.
Right.
And I can reference the purchase order number here. It'll pull it all in. All I have to do is add the date of the invoice.
Right.
And that's it. You can make changes if you want to, add notes. Or let's say there's a purchase order with 5 line items, and I only got an invoice for the first one. I can put the PO down here, but the PO helps the AE see on the job that those are costs that are going to come in. It helps accounting enter their AP quick, because all they have to do is use that number so there's no double data entry.
And that's if there's a purchase order for every job ticket, correct?
Whatever you're buying, as long as somebody knows they're buying it, then they could enter a purchase order. Right?
I know Fran enters purchase orders, right?
Because we don't have purchase orders for every client.
Right, you would not necessarily so, but when you do, at least it makes it easier for accounting.
Okay.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
And it shows the AE that you have that cost that will come in on that job, so they know, oh, you know what, I'm going to have to tell the client it's going to cost more because we're going over budget, and that's not our fault, it's theirs, but at least they're quite aware of it. They can make the client quite aware of it.
Right.
The other thing it does is, and in our agency, our owner asked if we could buy new computers for everyone because ours were getting really old.
Uh-huh.
And he asked how were we doing next month? Can we do it? And I'm like, oh yeah, we're looking really good, cash flow wise. Well, somebody didn't enter like $30,000 of media. I'm like, oh my God, if we had the media orders or purchase orders in there, we wouldn't have made that error.
Right. Yeah.
Because we would have been aware that those costs were there to come in.
Right.
So it not only helps the AE, but it also helps the accounting department to know what bills are going to come in the for cash flow purposes. Okay.
Can we look back at that job summary again?
Mm-hmm. And that wasn't the job, was it? It was. Can you type it again?
Yeah.
Maybe you should copy and paste it so we'll have it.
So on Becker, the account Becker, we have costs for 2 different jobs. How would we see what do we need to bill for that client?
The client, any of these reports, because you're doing it. So if let's say I go to summaries,
Okay.
you can do it client all, which is what it is going to do.
Or you can do only, can we just look at Becker?
Sure.
That would be helpful. Yeah, Becker Furniture.
There it is.
Yep.
Okay. Again, so small. And then what status range would you normally do?
Hey, she just left. So,
I mean, let's just do to this.
yeah.
Okay. And then I think you're still to screen, so.
Yay.
And it's going to pull up anything in your query. So whatever status range, date range that you want to pull, you can.
So if I'm looking at this report, unbilled is $1552.50, correct? That's the total amount that hasn't been billed.
Well, on this one you only have the 60, whatever that is, 6,000 something. Because this one doesn't have any costs on it.
Okay.
And you billed some.
So how do I read this report? Because costs and expenses.
So this is more normally what people are paying attention to, because this is your unbilled.
Right.
So this one has no costs. You've already billed $270. This one has costs, but you've already billed that much, so you have that much left of unbilled.
And so I would bill what off of this?
This.
The $1552.50.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two different
jobs.
2 jobs, and that's what needs to be billed. In terms of, so somewhere in the system there's an invoice for $725 that's attached to this
job.
1013. Why is that like that? The 1013, the 3 drops down. Is that just because the window's short? Try going down.
It's a long name in that field, so it's truncating down.
Okay, so and then somewhere
I can't even see it really. Actually, it's so small on my screen.
So then somewhere else in the system, there's $827.50 that's attached to the 1014 job.
Mm-hmm.
And those
so
are
let's
not.
say this is Becker 101. So let's just go to that.
It's 1013 and 1014.
Yeah. So.
Oh, because that was truncating down.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's $725 unbilled, and then for 1014 there's 8 something unbilled, right? Okay.
812.
Now you see here how it's unbilled. You have the $827.50, but there's no cost in it, and that's why you have the overbilled.
Okay.
Because you've billed $270 to date.
Right. That's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
So these reports, if you start at this one, that's probably probably the most common one that people choose to print from because it is job totals, and again, it shows you your open orders. That if you're doing the job analysis one, estimate versus billings, you don't have that column.
Okay, can we go? Was that an actual invoice that you were just showing us? Can you? So from where you were, in the Becker job summary, can you create an invoice from there?
No, these are just printed reports to your screen. But remember, you can do, like, let's say you're going to do the unbilled cost of it. If you go into that jobs WIP.
Well, they both have unbilled costs.
So. Oh, this doesn't have costs on it. Let me go to the other one. I think that one did.
No, they both had costs. 13 and 14 both had costs.
Okay. Okay, so on here, anything that's unbilled, like you see right here, you can bill from.
Bill now?
Uh-huh.
Can you show us that?
Mm-hmm.
That's write-off. That's bill now, yes. Create. Okay, so is that different than what we were looking at?
Yeah, the ones that if you were doing it from the estimating is the bill from the job ticket window.
The bill too.
This is from estimating.
And the one from the
this
WIP.
This one is from the costs.
And so, in your opinion, is it better to bill off of the WIP?
Not necessarily, because if you have an estimate that you can pre-bill before you get your costs in, your cash flow's a lot better.
Oh.
Okay, but we don't usually bill. We don't usually pre-bill.
Mm-hmm.
So
you progress bill.
We progress bill. So usually we should be using the WIP. Can you go back to that 1014 job ticket? Because there was time on that one, right? There was like just like a quarter hour or something on there.
So let's do this. If I go to print reports, and let's say you're asking what's on this job ticket, just go to job accounting. Let's look at the job summary, and I'll print all the detail to it too. I think it had no orders, but so this has actual hours. You have some unbilled, and you've billed some, right?
So actual hours is 4.75. We billed $270 of that, and there's $15 unbilled.
Correct.
And so what we're looking at is the job summary.
Mm-hmm. And it's specific for that one. But remember, you can print it for many just by going to job summaries.
Plural.
I can't remember all this. Okay,
so just if you want to just note this, job ticket, print reports, and I went into job accounting tab, and I selected the job summary. So these are just going to come up. So let me just let them come up, and then I'll go back to that one just so you can see it. So see, this shows you every billing that was done on that job ticket, invoice, the date, how much. So that's that job summary, and that's every single detail that has been added to that job. It'll bring up that information. If I want this summary for a bunch of jobs, just go to job summaries, job summary. Same report. This is the one, though, that I printed, which gave me job totals, and I can see it for a whole bunch of clients, one client, different projects, different status codes, different date ranges. Whatever you query in here is what it'll pull up.
And so I could bill off of that
Well, this is just giving you that information. You can't bill from right here because it's just a report. But at least it tells you, when you pull it into your invoicing, yes, that's what it's going to pull it in from.
Okay.
The question is, right now we're billing from estimate versus billing, and we're pulling that report for all accounts. How would we pull the summary for all accounts? Have you written that down?
Yeah.
Print report.
You go into job accounting and then summary.
Well, this is just for that one.
Oh, okay.
But for many, job summaries tab.
And then all.
Then job summary. And it pulls that report.
And your date range, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we just
So the same report for that one individual job, you can do for many from here.
All right.
Again, whatever query you put. Now that shows you task totals. If you just want to see big picture job totals, that was that client job summary. That is what most agencies use for the big hit list.
All right. We don't want to look at closed jobs, right?
Nope.
So we would.
The only time I did a postmortem every month. So I did 999 to 999, and I did all the summaries for those closed jobs for that month, and I made sure we made money on them. Or if, like, let's say somebody closed it, that's why I only was the one. I was the only one allowed to close jobs because I didn't want people to close jobs that didn't go well for them. I wanted to see that because, again, I'm going to keep it open. I'm going to do job cost transfers, and I want to know how well we did on those jobs that month, that last month.
And we're
So
nowhere
normally
near
you're not
that
going to do it all the way to closed.
Can we just go ahead right now and print jobs starting from 01/2012 to today and only open jobs?
It might be a long list.
Well, maybe we don't want to do that.
It'll be about 9 pages.
It'll be 9 pages.
Because that's what this is. That's the dates that she uses.
And she uses only open jobs?
I think so. Yeah.
So.
Now remember, though, it is recommended to clean up your statuses and get jobs out of there that are no longer, that should be closed or in different status codes, too.
Right. Can we print that to screen and see what it looks like? And then we might just want to print that because we need to do billing.
Why is it not finding anything? Oh, because I didn't have all.
34 pages.
Oh, that's hey.
Okay, so let's just look at that. Let's see what that looks like.
Let's not print that.
Well, we can print it if it's helpful. Can you keep scrolling? So it's one client per page.
By client.
And that's the only way to print it?
In this one, yeah. You could do,
34 clients.
Let's look at this one. Oh, that's by AE, though.
Okay, honestly, I think we should print that 34-page deal.
Okay.
Because I want to see what that looks like. And that's the only way to do it. Because the estimate versus billing gives us a total multiple per page.
Yeah.
And you could, again, just, if you're just trying to overview, then this should work fine. But remember, the client summary one actually has the purchase order column, so that's why
we want the
maybe
summary.
from now on that might be a helpful one because you're saying you go more from cost than you do estimating.
Yeah.
We like the summary better.
So let's just print that summary. Let's go ahead only on open jobs. I don't care if it'll be 17 pages. I don't care about that. So job summaries.
And then you want the client one?
So it's by client, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want closed jobs.
And that's the second to the last one, right? Yes. Okay. So is that it?
Can you print to screen, and then if that's the right one, then we'll print it also? Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's print that.
Is that the right printer?
Yep.
Okay.
So now you know how to get there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can print from
that.
So
just remember, for you guys,
you're
going to be on the AE Job Snapshot tab. You're going to be in WIP, possibly.
Why does that have no costs again?
Just has to be refreshed, probably. I don't know why on that one, because on the 13 I gave it to us.
But we have to fix that because if we're going to bill this way.
Well, it's showing up in the report.
But we're billing from the screen, right?
There we go. No, you're billing. You're going to pull it in either from. But let me do this. Let me finish the whole thing, and then we can go down to the nitty-bitty questions, because I kind of want to give you the overview first, because this is a very manual way of doing things, and there's a lot more speedier way of doing it than just job by job by job.
Right.
So the reports are just there for you to see what's going on and to make sure you are billing, that orders are added, that maybe an estimate is needed in that window.
Okay.
So you're going to be in WIP, you're going to be on the AE Job Snapshot tab, and you're going to be in Print Reports, Job Accounting.
I'm sorry. I'm turning a page because that one was now a real mess. So
and then job summaries.
Can you start at the beginning of that again? So
the job ticket.
Job ticket.
And you're going to be on the AE Job Snapshot tab. You also might go into the WIP link.
Right. I like the WIP.
Then you have the print report button. For you guys, accounting-wise, you're going to click on the job accounting tab, one job specific, but you can get all the detail from there too, job cost, job billings, job commitments, POs.
Right.
Right? For many jobs, job summaries, that job summary is the same as the one that I showed you for one job specific, but this prints that same report for all your clients or whatever query you put in.
Right. And that's the
These
one that
are
we...
job totals. So
Okay.
however you want to sort it, they're job totals, not
Okay.
every task total.
Right.
And then the job analysis tab is just estimating to billing,
Right.
whereas this shows you costing information, purchase orders open, etc.
And so that one that we printed was from job summaries.
Summaries, and it was the client job summary.
And it was in-house, right? To make sure that it was just the open ones.
It was, yeah, we did it for to 998.
Yeah.
And like she had us go back to 12 because if you have jobs open that are still from there,
Right.
you want to see them.
Right.
Because you either want to get them billed, hopefully, or you have billed them, but then close them, get them off.
Right.
Can we just at least
So
print that?
remember the WIP has the button to bill costs.
I'm sorry, what?
The WIP. Remember in the WIP window or in the WIP link, there's the button to bill costs, unbill costs. And then you also have the button on the face of the job ticket, which bills from estimating.
Okay. But yeah.
Now, this window,
Mm-hmm.
if you go down to, okay, you guys are in studio, so let me show you this. I'm going to go to billing. After, I'm going to take you to the client file first, so bear with me.
Okay.
In the client file, you have two billing types that you can set up here. If you click on the edit button and you go to retainer, this is where you can actually set up a schedule, usually January through December, and how much you want to bill. If you can bill by retainer, so let's say I had a client and I normally spend, they normally get $15,000 of work out of us a month,
Right.
I might as well set up a retainer and invoice them every month.
Right.
Then when we work on their jobs, all I do is I take that job, I go to bill it, I say, you've already paid me $15,000, let's use 7 of it, I apply the retainer, it moves it from deferred income to income. This really helps your cash flow because you're getting bulk monies in from those clients on a monthly basis, and then as you're doing the work for it, you're applying the retainer to the job billings. Okay?
Sure.
This one is a little bit different. This is on the face of the job ticket, so I'm not in the edit button.
Okay.
It's reoccurring billings. Reoccurring billings are nice because every month I had 5 clients that I invoiced for social media monitoring. One client was 1,000, one client was 500, one client was 3,000, whatever.
Okay.
Every month so let's say I set up the schedule. It's a job ticket that's called, your year of social media monitoring. If you set this up for each of those 5 clients, and anybody goes into accounting billing, it'll say you have recurring billings to add. Do you wish to add them? You say yes. It just goes, puts them all in there for you. So it makes it a lot more, makes you very efficient when it comes to repetitive billing like that.
So what's the difference between retainer and recurring?
Reoccurring is it's actually income right away when you bill it. It's on a schedule, so it's automatic by the program. This one, the retainer, is deferred income. And then when you bill it, you have to apply it to the job's billing. The other one's already billed. So this is a bill too, but it's billing them for that deposit of the monies that you're going to apply to jobs when you're working on them.
Including time.
And cost.
What the retainer is nice is, again, I'm getting that money in from the client long before I possibly could even work on it.
Right.
But then when I'm applying it to a job, it doesn't make me figure out jobs and the tasks and how we're going to, fold out the monies on each of the tasks. I don't know yet.
Right.
So it allows me to pre-bill them. It goes into deferred income, to liability, and then when I'm doing the work for them and I bill that job, I just apply their deposit to it.
Which is
this one is actually like billing a job. There's not a deposit. You're just setting up a recurring billing for them.
Yeah. Aside Kasai.
It's static, the same every time, because it gives you one job. So on my example, we had one job per year for social media monitoring for those 5 clients. It was automated this way.
So so once you billed the time, then you took that time and you applied it toward that retainer.
Well, you're applying wherever you're putting your time entry, job task-wise, is where it goes.
Right, but once the time is used against that money,
it shows you in the client file what the retainer balance is as you're invoicing it.
And that was under the retainer schedule tab?
So it's client file, edit button, retainer schedule tab. The reoccurring one is from the client file, recurring billings link.
Okay.
So now I'm going to take you to accounting to billing, because again, from the job ticket, it's very manual. When you click on the add button, you have all these choices, minus a few because you guys have studio, not agency.
Right.
Job billing is very manual, but the one time that I did use it is when I had, let's say, 15 tasks on a job ticket. They all had unbilled on it. But the client says, you know what, can you just bill me for the printing right away and leave the rest and then invoice that today? But just invoice me for the printing because I got to get it in my budget. This would allow me to manually say what task, this task, this task, this task. Okay, so it's the most manual. Most people, unfortunately, use that because they don't know they have more automated ways of doing it. The estimate billing is just like you clicking on that job ticket, bill now. Same thing. You also have an option to include change orders. You can have it bring in the estimate, but you can still take away, you can still change amounts, so you still have free play with it.
Okay.
You have the progress bill, which is the same thing as going into that job ticket.
Right.
Clicking on the whip link, and then progress billing it.
And that's...
Same thing. But in here you have change orders.
Okay.
And you have unbilled purchase orders.
Okay.
Okay, so this is instead of going job by job by job, you might just be looking at that report and then just pulling in the progress billing. Right? So you could do 5 of them pretty quick, 10 of them pretty quick.
If I was C&P savvy.
Trust me, once you start using it,
Uh-huh.
it took me about, because I was a client before.
Right.
I was a client of Clients and Profits before I worked for
Right.
them, and it took me about 2 weeks, and then it's already intuitive to our industry anyway.
Right.
So once you understand where to go to get something, you're good. Did you guys get a chance to watch that Essentials on demand?
I did.
Okay. Definitely watch that one because it
Several
helps you with the navigation and it gives you little tips like the bookmarks and the clip notes, and
Right.
it will make your life a lot faster in Clients and Profits.
And that was you doing that, Jane.
It was.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So that's the progress one. This one is the same as the progress one,
Okay.
but the difference is it allows you a date range.
Oh.
So my client said, okay, you know what? We're in the 4th week of February. Can you just invoice me for the first 2 weeks? Hold off on the second 2. Right? Sure. I can do it by date range.
That's kind of
So
neat.
same. So the job billing, the progress, and the work in progress are all pulling in unbilled costs.
Okay.
This is pulling in what is set up in your estimate of the job.
Okay.
This one is progress again, but you're telling it, hey, there's multiple jobs on this, so let's do these 2 jobs, these 2 tasks. This job, this 1 task.
Okay.
A lot of people, there's not a lot of use for that one, but I'll show you a quicker way to do that one.
Okay.
This one you don't have in Studio.
Okay.
The retainer billing comes from going to the client file and setting up a retainer.
Right, which you showed
When
us.
you go into the retainer billing, you put in that client code and it pulls in that schedule.
Okay.
It'll allow you to select any of the boxes you haven't selected yet.
And the client code is number?
Yeah, whoever you're going to bill it to.
Like Becker,
Oh, okay.
1014.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, deferred income. Now what happens is, let's say I got $10,000 from them and I'm ready to bill a job.
Okay.
I can go into progress billing. I can create my invoice.
Mm-hmm.
And before you post the invoice, you apply the retainer, and it takes them off the bottom line. So, for instance, the clients that we had retainers for,
Right.
it covered our in-house time, but it did not cover any expenses. So even if I had $15,000 of their dollars, money,
Right.
and let's say this bill was $15,000, but $5,000 of it was outsourced, it was, them
Right.
buying stuff from vendors,
Right.
it only covered that $10,000, they still owed us that $5,000.
Right.
So you can apply as much or as little as you want to.
That's
Okay?
right.
Cattle.
And
In this one,
accidents.
you don't have this one. This is actually an agency one. You have miscellaneous billing, which means I don't have a job ticket, but I want to invoice that client for something.
Okay.
What I use this one for is our client twofold. I had a really bad client, and she would come in and make like 250 color copies and think that was okay because she didn't have the time to go to Kinko's. It's like, no.
That's not okay.
So I didn't need a job. I didn't need to track it.
Right.
But I want to bill her.
Absolutely.
Also, we used to have, like when we had an agency meeting, our client meeting, she'd come to us, and she'd always want us to order pizzas and sodas and all that stuff, and she covered that. It wasn't under us, and this is how I could bill her for that as well.
Okay. And that was miscellaneous billing.
This one is more for Marcoms because they're just moving monies around from departments.
Okay.
What are Marcoms?
And this one, instead of using that, normally what people do is they use the auto bill button. Same thing. But what's nice about this is, remember when I said if you had a status code ready for billing?
Yeah.
Let's say it was 800. Any job tickets that the AEs or whoever put into status 800, again, you can break those status codes to 805, whatever, however you want to do it.
Okay.
I could go 800 to 800, client all. Yep, that's the next AFR number. And click that button. So let's say there's 15 jobs with unbilled on it.
Okay.
Every 2 weeks I go to an agency and I help them with their accounting. I click on this, puts all my invoices in there. All I have to do is edit it, maybe type a few notes, make a few changes, and I'm done.
So that's down the road for us.
Yeah. That is saying any job ticket in this query that has unbilled, pull it into my AR, and I'll assess whether I want it or not, what I need to change, what I need to add, or whatever, but it's just automated.
Okay.
Wait, why would that be down the road for us?
I mean, we'd have everyone in the office that works on a job
You want to
ticket.
make sure that all your costs are in, all your time is in. Not that you can't have it
We have
created
that.
and then
We do
add
have
to
that.
it if you're reviewing the reports and you know that there's time that hasn't been added to it too.
So that's something that we could start implementing quickly.
Because before we bill, we make sure all the time is in and all the bills are in, and
Right.
all the bills are posted.
So that, can you go back to that screen?
Certainly.
So write that down. See what that looks like, and
And if you guys want to, you can always take a screenshot of it too, so you don't have to write the notes.
we can print to screen and look and see what we produce on that. Right now.
It would actually add all the AR.
I don't understand what that means.
So I want to show you one other thing too.
Okay.
So you know how when you guys were talking about what reports you could see from the job tickets, which I like because I see the estimates, I see the hours, I see unbilled, I see billed, I have a lot of info, I see open POs.
Uh-huh.
Some agencies just go from snapshots, work in progress, but I did want to show you this too. This is all unbilled. So it doesn't matter if it was billed or not billed. Anything unbilled, you can have pulled to this report.
And that was under snapshots?
Snapshots, work in progress. Personally, I'm more operation than I am like CPA accounting, so I prefer the job reports, again, because I saw the hours, I saw maybe budgets if I wanted to.
I like the job reports.
I saw the estimates. This is strictly all unbilled.
Okay. We're kind of like
Now,
you.
do you remember the cost report that I showed you?
Wait a minute,
on the job ticket?
Can we look at that report, Cindy? The one that you're talking about, the all unbilled. So
Let me
this
do
is the
small-
WIP.
Snapshots whip. Yeah.
Snapshots, WIP.
Now, what this does is, I'm going to show you this too, because it's actually I called it a traffic report for my ARs. So I could make a little legend here, and as I was going through the steps, I had it printed, I had it sitting on my desk, I could put a little X. And let's say one of the X's was given to AE, I even put a little date next to that box, so I go, they had it since last Tuesday, they should be getting it back to me by now, or maybe it's in my plate. So it was a really good kind of trafficking report. But there are other options in this window as well, because you have different status codes that you can do, and you have different types of report of how you want to pull it. So just be aware, you always in these report windows have these tabs, but this is the most common one, the billing hot sheet.
Okay.
Now those steps actually are coming from, and if you need to write down the steps, let me show you, and then we can write them down.
Okay.
Set up preferences. It's in billing. Oops. And it's these steps here. So you can create your own. So normally this would be like client summary, the job totals, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one would be print summaries. Then the next one might be billing preview to AE. This one might be, AR changes. Then it might be final proof, send, statements, if you needed to, etc.
Okay.
Do you want me to save that so you have an example?
Sure.
Okay. Oops. Okay. And then I also wanted to show you this because it doesn't stand out very well.
Okay.
But if you go to billing and you go to the file menu, that's where your statements are. So if you need to print a statement for a client, this is where they're generated from, and you have a bunch of different options.
And that was under accounts receivable?
Mm-hmm. So accounting, accounts receivable,
Mm-hmm.
file menu,
Okay.
print client statements.
Client
Now the
statements.
other thing that you have under snapshot is you have the client aging. Okay, so this just ages what is due. And you also have, let me see, I just want to make sure this is.
We want to know how to do
Yeah.
this.
Under accounting,
Uh-huh.
collections manager, and hopefully you'll never have to be in this one,
Right.
but it does show you your ARs and where they are.
Okay.
You can highlight one or more than one, and you can change statuses of things.
Okay.
So just to be aware if you have that. So that's under accounting, collection manager, but it
Okay.
works off of the unpaid ARs.
Right.
The aging is for you guys internally to see 60, 90, or 30, 60, 90, or however you want to age them.
Okay.
The statements are client-oriented.
Okay.
That's it as far as the, yep, I showed you the whip, I showed you, okay.
Is there any
That's
written?
as far as the billing goes. So you've seen the two different ways you can do it from the job ticket. You've seen the job ticket reports. You've seen for one job specific, all the detail for many jobs, task totals for many jobs, job totals.
That's the mini jobs that we want.
You also know how to
Job
update a
summaries.
whole bunch of status codes so that they're more concise for you guys. You don't have a bunch of open ones that you don't really need anymore. You saw how to do billing from the billing feature,
Mm-hmm.
which is a little bit more automated than going job by job.
Right.
Snapshots unbilled, all costs, my aging, and statements.
Can you pull that report that shows all of the unbilled cost or all of the unbilled and creates all the invoices automated? I just want to see what that looks like.
Oh, that was no, there are two different things because this will show all the unbilled, but you're not billing from there.
Oh,
It's just a report.
wasn't there one that just created all of the invoices
yeah,
and then?
under accounting,
Okay.
billing, auto bill button, and this is where you put in the status range that you're wanting.
We only
and it'll
want.
automatically create the invoices for all the unbilled.
Okay.
And I don't want to do it because then you might have
Right.
how many to delete.
Right.
Well, can we just see
Okay.
what it looks
Now
like?
just remember that anything in accounting, so pretty much anything you do here, you're always going to want to proof first. So always print a proof list. You're checking your GL accounts, you're checking your period, you're checking the amounts, and then you can post one or you can post many, and you have some options down here too. So always
Always
proof post.
Right.
If you post, if it's not posted, you're going to see it says billing preview at the top. When you post it, it says invoice. If it's a negative invoice, so let's say you're crediting the client for something, it'll say credit memo.
Okay. So could we, on that, if you hit proof, it would then show us what we have.
All
right?
the unposted ones that you have.
All the unposted. Okay.
If you want to see posted ones,
yeah.
NAR. So remember, you have the job ticket
Right.
billing reports.
Right.
You also have it from per reports AR.
Right.
So you have lists, you have journals, summaries, analysis. So this is posted by whatever query you want to look at.
Okay.
So either from the job ticket or from AR, you can see billing. The proof lists are just unposted.
Okay. So that one report that we did that was like 34 pages long.
That was a job ticket.
And that is
just job accountability report. It's not unbilled. It's not. It just shows you everything.
Okay. But from that, I can see what is unbilled.
What you need to do.
And bill it. And that would
so let's say you have unbilled cost to bill. That's when you just do that progress.
Right.
If it's by date range, you could do it that way.
Okay.
If you have an estimate built and you want to invoice it, then it's this way.
Estimate. Okay. All right.
But remember, the more you can retainer bill, because you're getting big lots of money ahead of time before having costs.
Right.
Or if you can do the reoccurring billing to automate it for yourself.
We want to do recurring billing for Choice One Honor.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
we are gonna be setting up some recurring billing.
Yeah, I love that feature.
Yeah.
So you guys have thoroughly been exposed to billing and job accountability.
Yeah, and so.
But do you see how it kind of makes sense? You have the job ticket. That's the heart of the program. That's where it all starts.
Right.
I'm totally
People
lost.
are
So
adding
if you got it,
details
great.
to it, whether it's estimate time, expenses, costs, POs. From any of the detail that's added to the job, you can automate it into billing. You have the two options in the client file. You have the two options in the job ticket as far as billing, and then you have all the options in AR.
Okay. And you were going to email us information on further training.
So, Cindy, on the training, can we do more than just watch somebody toggle around? Can we actually have somebody help us create an invoice and have...
I mean, we can do that here, too. I mean, the help desk can always help any of you with any specific questions like that. So if you want to, if you have a job that you want to do really quick, I'd be more than happy to help you.
Yeah, can we set up a recurring billing for Choice One?
Okay, do you have the job ticket already?
Probably.
So I'm going to let you guys drive.
I'm going to let you drive.
Oh, goody.
You drive. I don't ever drive, though. For this.
Okay, so she said Choice One. Yeah, we have, at this point, we have 4 different job tickets for that client. So just start with the first one? Or,
sure.
Alright, so that's our first job ticket for Choice One.
That is not the recurring billing one, though. That's the training manual.
Okay. So which?
Monthly marketing retainer.
Okay. And even AdWords, right? Wouldn't that be?
AdWords should be recurring billing as well.
Okay, so that's the job ticket for their recurring retainer.
Okay, so that you want to set up?
Yeah. So there's an estimate in there.
It's the estimate.
Okay.
So, let's go to the job on my menu, to my clients.
Okay.
And then click on the reoccurring billing right under the find number. Yep. And then the add button. And then go ahead and tab, and then put that job number in.
You'd have to look at the job ticket, right? I think that there's...
You don't know what tasks you bill and how much?
Well, I don't know what's in there. We have different tasks, and I think... Can we just look and see what the tasks are in that job ticket?
Yeah, you have to close this, though.
Okay.
And the reason why you can only have one window open at a time is because it's an interrelational database, and since everything is pulled at every other place, if everybody had different windows open of different things, it would stop everybody from being able to edit it. So if you go back to the job ticket. So jobber menu, job ticket.
Oh. Okay, that is it.
So there's...
And then click on that AE snapshot tab, because that's going to show you the dollar figures.
The AE, where is
right there.
See, for
oh, there, okay. Yeah.
So purchases and task 2, T125, that's all we've got in there.
So are you wanting to invoice that? So you're going to set a reoccurring rate so that you invoice how much? $5,000 a month or
yes.
what? How much do you bill per month?
The marketing, it's $2,500 a month.
Okay. Under task T125?
Yes.
Okay. So now you know how to set up the recurring billing.
So I go back to
Do you remember when you billed it
last month. I don't know the exact date.
Okay. So you want to start it for March?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So go to My Clients.
Mm-hmm.
And
Recurring billing link. Add button. And then what date do you want it to be?
do you care what date it March 1st?
Should it be 3/8? 3/9?
Yeah, 3/8, 3/8, 3. Yeah, that's right. 3/8 is fine.
Okay.
So right now it autofilled 4/8. I changed that to 3/8.
I think it'll allow you to.
The recurring billing date needs to be later than today.
Okay, then put the 10th.
Okay, try do the 10th then, I guess.
Okay. And the add-on date, does that matter?
Yeah, I'd leave it the same.
Okay.
And then
That's the
needs
3rd
to
of
be later than
March.
today. Okay, then I guess you'll have to make it the. And just as an FYI, I'm going to take it for a second.
Okay.
It'll save you some keystroking. All you have to do is put in the date, and Tab will throw the rest of it for you.
What? Okay.
Nice. And if it's in future month, all I do is like 04.15, and it does it too.
These are tricky things.
Because I'm lazy.
Well, if you know how to be lazy, that's the way to do it.
More power to me, right?
Yeah. So then a job ticket.
Job number.
Job number.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same as job ticket?
Yes.
Okay. And then
Okay.
into the tasks section.
Uh-huh. T125. Yep. And always tab. Yep. Most people don't put in hours.
Okay.
Just
Don't
put
put in the
2,500? Yeah, great. Okay.
And that was.
And then do you know what GL it normally goes to?
Is the DGL the same?
It usually goes to total income.
Okay, go ahead and tab. It'll bring up the lookup list. And you can sort it by class if you want to. So any of the find windows and the lookup windows, if you click on the column heading, it'll sort it for you.
Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You can put total in the top filter there. TO. And then just, it doesn't automatically,
That doesn't look
that's
good.
not it.
That's not it.
No, it's like 4 million or something. Yeah, so. Well, do you know that that's it?
If you tab and it's wrong, it'll tell you. I mean, not if you pick the wrong GL, but if there is no such GL.
Well, I think we should make sure we
will
pick
make
total
sure.
income. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was, but
You can sort by
Yep,
class,
it's
too.
up. It's up.
There it is.
There it is. Okay.
All right. So that's all I had to do for that.
That's it. And then you'd want it every. You probably want to change your period. If your calendar year, do you want to change your period to 3?
No, we don't change periods.
But are you talking about this one down here?
Mm-hmm.
Because everything has been 3.
Oh, okay. All right.
So yes, I will do that. Save these changes. Yes.
No, add this invoice every 30 days 11. What does that mean?
Every 30 days on the 11th is what it looks like it's going to do.
Okay.
What is this?
Oh,
You have to click OK and then delete that one task code because there's nothing in it.
there was a purchase task code in here too. But I don't think we want to do that one.
Not for recurring.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So this is good.
So just save this.
Yeah, let's see. Add this invoice. Yeah, because it says every 30 days. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
11 more times. That's what it is. It's not
Yeah.
it's not 11 more times. It's only
So why did it take?
it's
Yeah, it would do 11 more times because this is 1.
No,
Right?
we've already billed 2 of these.
So you only want it for this year.
Yeah, so we're only going to
Okay.
bill 9 more times. Every 30 days, 9 more times starting in April. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Yep, that's correct. 3. Yes. Recurring billing.
Why does it keep doing that to me?
If you look at your task code, it's no longer T125.
Oh.
Oh. Changed somewhere.
Now put that income account back in. And then save
The
it.
task code changed again.
The what did?
Task.
Task.
Oh, it did. And then it's going to delete that thing out again. Do me a favor, just do that task.
Now tab. Yeah.
And then,
I'm sorry.
do you have profit center? You don't have profit centers, though, because you're studio.
Now tab.
Let's see, it changed it again.
Change the task again.
Wow.
Let me do this. I'm going to, because I actually have to go.
Uh-huh.
Let me test this
Okay.
on mine and see what why that problem's coming up.
Okay.
And then I will get back to you today. Should I get back to you, Kyle?
Yes, please.
Okay, you got it.
Here
Let me make a note, recurring billing.
for 2 more hours.
Aren't you here with Kristen tonight?
So, if you go back in there and then just double-click on the 4,000, and then T125 do not tab, though, which is not normally what you should do.
Okay.
Will it let you save it that way?
Oh. Apparently.
So there you go.
It doesn't show the task anywhere, does it? Okay, it doesn't matter.
Double-click on one.
On just any of them?
Uh-huh. You're just looking at a line item.
Yep, there it is.
Okay, save. Can we print this
Well,
sucker?
it's not the actual invoice. It's not the actual invoice. It's
Right.
just setting it up so that now if you go into recurring billing, if you go into billing, so close this. And then if you go, so I think it would be tomorrow, because I don't think because we put it for the 10th, it had to
Right.
be the day after. So tomorrow
Right.
when you go into accounting and count the billing, it should give you a prompt.
Just go into billing accounts receivable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I have to do that tomorrow.
Because it hasn't tripped yet, because it's not the
Right.
10th.
Okay.
All right, so thanks.
That should be helpful.
Good. Awesome. So we got it I don't know why it was acting so funky. So at least we got it to save.
Yes. All
So,
right.
Cindy, how much do you cost? What is your cost? How do you work?
Would you mind if I email that to you?
That'd be great.
I gotta.
Can we,
Yep.
we're in a hurry now because our billing training person.
I can send it to you maybe in the next half hour.
Lovely, thanks.
Great. You got
Okay,
it.
see ya.
Bye.
Okay, you take care, you guys.
Thanks, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, let's do the same thing with honor right now.
Okay. So we'll look at the job ticket first.
But we could add something to that recurring billing, right?
Yeah, anytime we could edit it.
Okay.